Do you know what a box test is? And have you ever wanted to do one but didn't know the right way? I'm going to walk you through the process and show you why it's so important. Let's head out there. All right, here we go. Box test number 3. We're going to repeat the box twice.
But it's only doing what you force it to do. And the target looks different. That's what you're going to do. Good. Absolutely. So,
I'll get back to it. Have fun.
Yeah, whatever.
Do you want to...
No, it's yours.
Bottom left.
Yeah, bottom left and bottom right are empty.
So I also got H110.
Alright, so you were on the right target. You already shot on that right. The left target is the bottom two.
Sometimes people see certain primers are more consistent with whatever load they're doing.
Target look different to you there. They're dead center. In fact, one was dead center. The other ones are all right in the center.
I'm having to look away. Just what I see, I'm back on target.
And when it's a different color, it's hard to make it so it's actually there. So, yep, that's the way it works.
Same target. Bottom right.
Yep.
Where are you shooting the top right?
Oh yeah.
The left target.
All right, let's see what that looks like. Now that we have shot this box target test, what are we going to do with it? Well, there's two things. The first is we want to see if the turret is moving the reticle up the appropriate amount. So does 1 minute truly equal 1 minute? And keep in mind, we're not talking about an inch, even though we're at 100 yards. We're talking about 1.047 because that does stack over time. And that's really important because if you're doing something like a 20 or 30 minute tall target test, that adds a lot. I mean, that can add like an extra, what is that going to be? If we do the math real quick here, that's an extra 1.4 inches at 30 inches. So you could conceivably get at what you think is bad data if you're not taking into account what actual MOA is. So we are at 100 yards. We are looking for 1.047 times whatever our come up and horizontal adjustment was. In this case, I moved up 10 and over 10. So center to center, we're going to be looking for 1.047. And then right to left, we're looking for 1.047. And then we are also looking to make sure that it is square. Now, if it goes up 1.047 or 10.470, I guess it would be, then, you know, that would be also indicative of working correctly. But we're going to be actually drawing a box again using the internal measuring system of Shotmarker to show if we are getting good tracking both vertically and horizontally. So let me go ahead and bring up a box here. And here's the first thing we're going to do is we're going to make the box bigger than we need to. And you can see that up here, I've only made these shots as record rounds. Somebody ended up putting up a target right next to mine, and so they were railing off some rounds out of an AR, and it was picking up like ghost rounds over here. But it doesn't affect any of my measurements that are happening here. So you can look, if we take the average of the two shots that are coming in, this thing is perfectly square, 10.8 by 10.8. So that tells me that my scope is tracking really, really well. I mean, it's just, dead on. I can also use this line as an indicator of kind of like a tall target test. And if I put, this line down the middle, you can see that 10 minutes up, 10 minutes down, I'm getting a very straight line. Same thing on this side. This one's off just a little bit more, but if we're taking the averages, it still boxes out to a nice square box. What I want to do now is I want to look and I want to take, so there's shot 1 and then shot 2. So I just wanted to see which ones we were dealing with. So there's shot 2, and then shot 1 is going to be this upper one. So there's shot 1. Yeah, so that's shot 1, and that's shot 2. And you can see that in this case it was 10.2 as opposed to 10.47. So we're talking, a minimal amount of variance. And if I take shot 2, and then where's shot 3? So that's shot 3. So there's shot 3, and the width is 10.2. And then if I go to shot 4, I need to make sure I include it in there. And, I don't think I had this one included. It gets tricky because it wants to measure down here. So let me do this. So here's, yeah, so you can see here I'm measuring shot 2 and then shot 3, and I am at 10.5. So 10.47 is where I should be. So I am 3/100ths off of having perfect tracking left to right. If I look at shot, let's go back here and go shot 3, and then we're going to bring this over, and you can see how this one's not being included when we make this box. See how that one lights up white, but not, see how that one, so we want that, and then we want to come down to shot 4, which is the bottom shot, and we're at 10.6. So we're just a hair over on this side, but on the other one, so it's really, really close. But the fact that the average tracking is a perfect box here, boom, 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 10.8, 10.8. This tells me that aside from any personal input that I'm influencing here with my shooting, because you have to keep in mind, these shot groups are, they're 0.4, 0.4. Let's see here. These small ones don't like moving sometimes, and it's harder on a computer. 0.4. So these groups are pretty consistent. 0.2. So 1/4 inch, just under 1/2 inch. So these are definitely, they're tight enough to give me the data that I'm looking for on this particular thing. So that's what I'm looking for when I shoot a box test like this. Now let's move on and show what I do with a tall target test at 100 yards. It's going to be similar, but just a little bit different because we're going to give it just a little more elevation this time.
They're right at the 6 o'clock, and
all right, this is going to be just a quick tall target.
What I did on that last one, this is an experiment, was
We're going to go
I
up
took my
5.
red dot off of it and then back onto it again.
All right.
Rather than
42 seconds.
looking away, to let my eyes fatigue go away. Which is better? Move the red dot off target, back on target.
How about that?
Look away both eyes.
Because breathing, your eyes actually don't have to focus when you. So if you breathe again, your eyes will be.
And this is what the data looks like from the tall target test. So you can see we had 0, I believe this was 5, and then we went all the way up to 12 minutes. So we jumped a little bit further here than here. And we're going to do the same thing. We're going to just build a quick box. And I want to look at two things. The first is I want to see, like, here's the line down the center. So this automatically creates this line because it's tracking center of bullet to center of bullet. And you can see that it's just about a 1/4 inch. In fact, it's 1 bullet width is the difference from center to center. So even though it looks like this is quite a bit more left, it really isn't. I mean, these two are overlapping about half of their bullet. So it's pretty darn good. And again, these two are almost identical on their centers. So for 17 minutes, or I'm sorry, 12 minutes worth, this is showing you what your vertical is. Now, it's also possible that if I was to put a larger target out, keep in mind my electronic target at 100 yards is only about 18 inches tall. If I was to take this all the way from the bottom of the shot marker that I have to the top, which is roughly 18 minutes, you know, it's possible that the next shot could be a little bit more left, and it might show that there is just a slight out of plumb on my scope. Or as I go higher up, there might be another one that comes back in line with this, which is honestly what I would more expect that it's going to continue, because I've done other testing with this, and it tracks pretty darn straight up. But these are the things that make it easy with the shot marker to look at, so I can see trends. Now, if I shot this one, and then this one came a little bit to the left, and then this one was a little bit more left, then we would be seeing kind of this angle trend over here, and that would give me a little bit more pause. But as it sits, it's pretty good. Plus, we had that box test, which, you know, did show that it was tracking really good up and horizontally, you know, vertically and horizontally. So these are two really easy tests that you can do at the range. Keep in mind, you do need to have your shot marker target, not the paper on it, but the actual target frame with your sensors as level as you can out there. A little bit of variance isn't going to hurt you. You're still going to see the generic trend that you're looking for, but you really want to try to make sure that when you're building the frame, putting the hangers on, all that kind of stuff, that it is as level as possible. And then, of course, you're at the mercy of the range and whatever kind of target frames they use. I know how that goes. I do put shims in my target to keep it straight and vertical. So, you know, there's things you need to look for, but hopefully this helps give you a really good idea of things you can do with your shot marker so that you can feel confident that your gun is tracking right, that your scope is working correctly, that everything's level, and that you're ready to either go out on that hunt or go run a competition. As always, get out there and shoot. You guys have a good one. We will talk soon.